I think we overhyping this victory, you know, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Everybody was kind of like, okay, he's in over his head, and it's a matter of time before Boots catch him and end the fight.
Just like when you say, hey, why nobody give me credit for Ricky Burns and Postal and shit? And we're like, dude, get that shit out of here. Kell Brook, Sean Porter, we like, dude, you supposed to beat them when you beat them. That energy that Bud has for Boots and the Xander Zayas, that's why he's like, wait a minute, I whipped Ricky Burns' ass. Same shit.
It was thrilling, you know what I mean? When you thought that, that Xander was about to get up out of there, it was like he came back and hurt Boots in the third round, and I know he had the Barclays Center going crazy. I know Puerto Rico was going crazy. I was going crazy. I was like, yo, I thought he was gonna stop this guy. I was like, yo, he's gonna stop Boots.
Is the boxing world overlooking something, or did Jaron Boots Ennis unknowingly reveal a dangerous weakness during his intense showdown with Xander Zayas? While the crowd inside the Barclays Center erupted in celebration, believing they had witnessed another dominant performance, one boxing legend walked away with a very different opinion. Instead of joining the praise, Terence Crawford immediately challenged the growing hype surrounding Ennis. Speaking on a major platform, Crawford explained exactly what caught his attention and his brutally honest assessment.
Can I just ask you what your thoughts were on last night's fight with Boots' win over Xander?
Yeah, oh man, that was a great fight. Both great fighters. Congratulations to Boots and Zayas too, man. I mean, I already respected him as a fighter. I knew he was game, but he showed so much, and it went kind of how I expected. I had Boots winning, but like I said, you kind of got to be focused. You can't get too careless. But he pulled through, and he showed grit, and it was a great fight.
How do you think like Sebastian Fundora or Virgil Ortiz, how do they do against Boots?
Great fights. Yeah, I think those are all 50-50 fights.
Yeah.
Following Ennis' impressive stoppage victory over the highly regarded Puerto Rican contender Xander Zayas, many believed the junior middleweight division had officially found its next dominant champion. Ennis captured the WBA and WBO titles after applying relentless pressure before forcing the referee to wave off the contest in the 7th round. His power, pace, and aggression looked overwhelming, convincing many fans that a new era had arrived. However, experienced boxing minds saw something entirely different beneath the exciting finish. They noticed repeated defensive mistakes that could become costly against an elite counterpuncher. During an appearance on the Porterway podcast, Crawford broke down the performance and explained
knowing when to exchange, when not to exchange, when to move, when to hold. Like if you watched when he got real hurt, real bad, he didn't know when to hold, and we all yelling like, grab him. He's right there to be grabbed. I don't think no one picked Xander to win.
No.
And I love Xander, and he's a great kid, but no one, like, I think we overhyping this victory, in a sense where nobody picked Xander to win. Everybody was kind of like, okay, he's in over his head, and it's a matter of time before Boots catch him and end the fight. But what round will it be? Right. Now, I think it's going to be different when he goes up against a Fundora or a Virgil, because if one of those guys get him hurt like Xander did, I don't think it's going to be the same.
Crawford acknowledged that Ennis possesses incredible athletic ability, impressive stamina, and undeniable natural talent. But he argued that the performance itself is being exaggerated by sections of the media. According to Crawford, ring intelligence separates great fighters from elite champions, and he believes he still operates on a completely different level. He pointed out that Zayas was able to land several clean shots throughout the fight, exposing defensive habits that could become major problems against more experienced opponents. Crawford suggested that if a master technician had been standing across the ring instead of Zayas, those mistakes would have carried much harsher consequences. His comments immediately fueled intense discussion as analysts began reviewing the fight frame by frame, highlighting moments where Ennis advanced with his head on the center line and relied heavily on his toughness and athleticism to escape danger. For the first time in his undefeated career, serious questions about Ennis...
It's a lot to unpack here. Boots came out in the first round like he typically does. You know, Boots has all 10 toes gripped on that canvas. He's looking for power, and I'll call it power boxing, where he's boxing, he's using skill, but Boots is looking to hurt you, and he's trying to hurt you as early as he possibly can. So every jab is a stiff jab, not really no setup jabs, not really a lot of setup punches from Boots. It's power, and he was able to get a shot through with Xander and send a message early in that first round by dropping him. We get into the third round, and this is the round that everybody's talking about right now. And, you know, we spoke about this a week or two before the fight. We talked about some of the defensive lapses that we see in Boots, not just in this fight. We've seen this periodically throughout the last few years as Boots became more of a bigger name and everybody, you know, we started watching him and really paying close attention. And there was an exchange where Boots, who is a switch hitter, he'll go right-handed and left-handed, you know, in a blink of an eye. He doesn't really think about it. He'll just switch. He switched to southpaw, and Boots was throwing a right hook, and Xander beat him with a jab, led with the jab, and then caught Boots with the right hand, and Boots got visibly wobbled. He grabbed on, as he should, try to get himself together, but that Philly thing came out of Boots while he was hurt, and the temperament that Boots Ennis has came out of him, which is, when I'm hurt, I'm wounded, I got to fight back. So Boots did some holding, but he did more fighting than anything else. And Xander did the right thing. I liked how Xander, visibly he wasn't the bigger man, but he's the man that had been at the weight class longer. So he was acting as if he was the bigger man. He was pushing Boots off, physically pushing him back, and then he would try to hit Boots. And I liked what Xander did because he not only was physical, but back to the body attack, Xander wasn't headhunting. He was ripping Boots with body shots. He was making Boots have to deal with that physically, but also mentally. When you get hit with a body shot, especially when you hurt, your head is swimming, but then you got to defend against a body shot, and then here comes a head shot. And I thought Xander did an excellent job in that round. He was this close to landing another shot that really could have hurt Boots, maybe put him down, maybe put him out.
As expected, Crawford's comments sparked an immediate backlash from many boxing fans who viewed his criticism as unnecessary. Supporters of Ennis accused the former undisputed champion of trying to slow down the momentum of one of boxing's...
Terrence Bud Crawford was on the Porterway podcast, and y'all like, hey, Biz, what do you think about what Terrence Bud Crawford said? He thinks that we're overrating his victory over Xander Zayas a bit. Fine, certainly. I get it. Just like when you say, hey, why nobody give me credit for Ricky Burns and Postal and shit? And we're like, dude, get that shit out of here. Kell Brook, Sean Porter, we like, dude, you supposed to beat them when you beat them. That energy that Bud has for Boots and the Xander Zayas, that's why he's like, wait a minute, I whipped Ricky Burns' ass. Same shit. Everybody can have their opinions. It's fine. The only thing that bothers me is all of you booty buddies out there talking about, hey, Terence Crawford will whoop Boots. Boots ain't ready for Terence Crawford. Shut your asses up, because we were saying this a while back, a year ago, even more than that. Terence Crawford versus Boots, and what y'all say? There's no money in it. Nobody want to see that. Nobody want to see that. So now that everybody's past it, here come y'all booty buddies. Hey, Terence Crawford whoop his ass. Don't talk now. He's retired now. It's over now. You ain't want to see it before, then shut your ass up now.
For much of his rise through the sport, Crawford often argued that he never received the recognition he deserved despite defeating respected champions such as Ricky Burns and Victor Postal. Now that he has reached legendary status, many fans believe he is treating the next generation the same way previous stars...
We wanted Boots versus Terence Crawford right after Errol Spence, and then he could fight Nello because we knew how good Boots is. But now you want this shit now that it's all over with. The guy's retired, all right? Terence Crawford ain't coming back. He was great. He's definitely a special fighter, all-time great fighter, but he's gone. He's retired. So Boots versus Bud will never happen. Forget about it.
I don't worry about coming back to prove anything, because me coming back and and proving something to people that it doesn't matter, what never matters. To credit Boots, like he's a tremendous talent, and he's no walk in the park for no one.
Boots right now is doing the proper thing and negotiating with Fundora, and that shit's a barn burner. I have no idea who wins.
Sean Porter offered a balanced perspective, recognizing that both Crawford and Ennis bring unique strengths into the discussion. Having shared the ring with Crawford himself, Porter understands the mental pressure and tactical precision that make him such a difficult opponent. Porter questioned whether Ennis' aggressive style and willingness to exchange punches could play directly into the hands of a calculated counterpuncher. While he praised Ennis' size, reach, power, and relentless work rate, Porter emphasized that facing a fighter capable of setting traps...
Boots did everything I thought he would, except he did get a little lackadaisical at one point and got caught with a shot that I didn't expect him to get caught with. And I want to commend him for being smart enough to stay in the body, because people won't believe this, but the body shots are really what ultimately stopped Xander Zayas. It wasn't just the head shots. I think the body shots were more effective than the head shots.
So you think the body set up the head, the body shots had more effect than the head shots?
The body broke him down. He couldn't come back from the body shots. Every time he got caught with a good body shot, it stayed with him for a while. And like in that last round when he got stopped, he got hit with a body shot. His hands went down there. He wanted to protect his head, but he couldn't. He was too busy trying to protect his body. And that's why you got to always tell people always got to remember, you got to stay with that body attack. If you stay in that body attack, a lot of guys can't take that over a period of time. And a lot of guys don't really know how to brace themselves properly for a body shot. I'm finding that out more. And it's crazy because you have to teach them how to actually brace for a body shot. And nobody ever taught Xander. He just got away with it for so long. And Boots tested that. And Boots found out that he didn't know how to lock up for the body shot. So Boots started banging his body. And the body shots, like I said, the head shot, you can come back from. Just like Boots came back from the head shot that Xander hit him with. And to Xander's credit, he was trying to go to Boots' body too, but Boots can take the body shots. Boots can take the body shots. Xander can't take them like that. So Boots was really having much more effect on Xander's body than Xander was having on his. Now, he was trying, but it was to no avail. Boots was destroying his body. I mean, breaking his body down. That's what really ultimately, to me, caused him to start the fight, because the shot he hit him in that 7th round, he went down, but he was hurt already from that body shot. He was trying to protect his body more so than his head.
I mean, he's a great fighter. He can start his own era like what he's doing now, but he got a lot of guys he got to compete with, like Shakur. Mm-hmm. You know, he got Inoue. Mm-hmm. You know, those guys are young and still fighting, so I ain't gonna really call it the Boots era. I just think he's a great fighter in the era with other guys that can say, this was my era.
Mm-hmm. You know, with that, I know, like, there's the Fendoras and Virgils, like, they all have to fight each other to even come to that conclusion. I mean, is that, amongst those guys, is there someone stand out a little bit more, or is it still kind of 50-50 across?
I think it's a 50-50 across the board, you know, because when you look at Virgil and when he get guys hurt, like maybe Boots was hurt, you know, he finished them off. Mm-hmm. You look at Fendora with the range and the height he got, you know, even though he'd been beat before, since then he's just been cleaning them up. Yeah. And so we all waiting to see, you know, when those 2 or 3, you know, like the 4 Kings, when they tangle. So we, you know, as boxing fans, we just sit back and wait.